Hello YouTube. I thought today I might start on making a saw. I bought these blades and it looks like I paid a whole $1 for them. I don't know if you can see that price. So I bought a bunch of these and I have no use for them. They don't fit any saw I own. So I thought maybe I would take one, see if I can turn it into a saw that I might actually be able to use. So we need to cut it up. It's too long. I'm thinking about cutting it in half here and then cutting these holes off, or using the holes at least for one side. This one could work, but if I make two saws, the blade will go the wrong way for that one. So I think first, measure it and cut it in half. Maybe. But not too bad. Now this one, the teeth go the wrong way. So if I want to turn this into a blade, I need to cut that off and put a handle down here so it cuts when you push, not when you pull. So maybe later we'll see about that. This one, we should be able to cut into a blade, a saw. Maybe. Get rid of these sharp corners. I'll stab myself. There you go. I need at least 2 holes. I might be able to use that hole to hold it steady, but I still need another hole up here somewhere to rivet it. I'd like to end up with at least a 6 or 7 inch blade, so if we go 6 inches there, we have enough room to put in a handle to here. I don't know if I need all that. Let me see what one of the other saws I have. Do some comparisons. I've got my ugly saw here. It's a little bit sharper and thinner, but that's the same length as the blade, so I think that'd be long enough. I think we just need to put another hole here somewhere. I haven't decided on that hole there. I could get rid of that. If we cut this up kind of like this, it's going to weaken it quite a bit for that handle, but I like a bigger handle, so let's just leave it like this. Let's leave it like that. Now that I got a giant mark, I want to come in something like that. Since the tin snips worked earlier, see if we can cut this with those two. We'll have to file it all nice and clean, but at least get us a start. A little bit hard there. See if I can get that up just a little bit more. I'm running out of room on my cutters here. There we go. Seems like it's good hard metal. Kind of wish that hole wasn't there, but well, we might have to get rid of that. We'll see. If I go up to there, that'll make the blade only this long instead. I have to put a hole like right here and one there. And then we'd be able to go up a little higher if I got rid of that. Let's just cut it off. It cost me $1. Let's just see what happens. If I ruin $1 worth of blade, then I ruined $1 worth of blade. And that would allow us to come up to here. Maybe. Good and hard. It's trying to crack instead of cut. There we go. That should be a good place to start. Let's see if we can get holes in it. I haven't tried to drill this stuff yet. It might not drill. Seems like it cuts real good, but it might not drill. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So we drill holes to match these. Take about 5 30 seconds of work. Not wanting to drill good, might have to punch it. Let me see if I can clamp it down so if it spins around there, it won't come around and get me in the finger. Cheapo clamps, but maybe we can make them work anyway. Shouldn't spin around that much. Pretty good. Let's see if we can punch those a little better. I had a metal plate. I bet I could punch that right out, but I don't. Not pretty. Trying to go through it. Just reaches that point there and bottoms it out. Maybe start with a sharper drill bit. I need to sharpen that one probably. Don't sound good. See if this one will do any better. Oops. There we go. Probably need to sharpen that one. Pretty rough. I figured we'd have to go one size bigger. Look at that. Alright. Keep going up until it fits the screws. They didn't grab too bad. I don't think that bit's sharp either. You know what? Maybe we'll file that out. I think that steel is too hard. It's going to dull out all my drill bits. And then I can sharpen them. That's a pain in the butt. Maybe we'll just file it out. Save me trouble having to sharpen all my drill bits. Cheap old needle file sets. They actually seem to cut pretty good. Even if they are kind of cheap. We'll use that. Alright. Now I can kind of see it. It's the wrong direction, but I promise you, the blade is in that vise right there. And we're going to take these little holes. See if I can... Ooh, that sounds awful. See if I can keep it from vibrating so it won't be so bad. Knock the vibration down a little bit. Guess I could probably recycle one of these clamps too. See if I can get the clamp on there. Just so it don't vibrate so much. It sounds so bad. These files are really cheap. And they even bend there at the base. They're not even that hard, but they seem to cut okay. Of course, I usually use them on softer steel and brass. They seem to do all right. A little concerning that they bend. I might end up breaking the handle off them here. They bend right there in the handle. Right there. I don't know if I like that. And they seem to bend in the same spot like it's getting weaker. Probably will end up breaking that someday. Getting closer. One. There you go. Beauty. 2 screws through the handle. Back over here, file away. So that should allow us to make a handle and then screw it together. They fit pretty snug. The blade should be in there nice and tight. You shape that up still a little bit so it's nice and round and not got that sharp edge in it. We'll do that after we make a handle in case I break something. Alright. I also think it's too flexible. I kind of want this for like dovetails and stuff. So I need it to be a little more firm, so I want to put a back on it. I want to put a brass back on it, I think. So I need to go see if I can find some sheet brass. Part of an old door kick panel. That ought to do it. That should be alright. I think I want the back to be around a 1/2 inch on the blade. It needs to come into the handle a little bit, so this will be long enough to do it. I think I want it to be just about 1/2 inch. So if I fold it over, I need that to be about 1 inch. Things are never on the right size. Don't need to be terribly accurate. Here. Alright, that ought to be something I can see. Try to cut this with tin snips, but it's going to curl it. I'll have to straighten it all out and then file the rough edges back. So cut these, it's going to want to make it curve. A little bit of curve in it. Okay. Too shabby. Alright, let's see if we can knock those burrs off. Still got quite a bit of burr on that one there. Need to file it off square. We'll round it over anyway where it touches the blade, so maybe we'll go ahead and just use this as the inside, and then we'll have to round this one over to match. That might be the way to go. Don't go too crazy because we're going to ding it all up trying to bend it. So we need a good straight bend on that. I think my bending device is in the barn. Let me check. Alright, somewhere. I have a shorter one of these, but we'll have to use this one because I don't know where the other one is. Probably about time to clean. What it is it's a ductwork bender. So if you go to like a home store, like where you buy home repair supplies, these will be in like the aluminum and tin ductwork, and you put the ductwork in there and they bend them over to make attachment flaps. They're designed to work on a metal a little bit thinner than this, but I think we'll be able to make it work. I've kind of wallered mine out so it fits bigger stuff. Let's see if we can get a center line on here. This kick panel's got a little bit of a clear coat on it, and it makes the marker not want to dry. Scribe. Mark this right in the middle. Nope, center line. So we want to bend that right on that line if we can. Might have to close my bender up a little bit. It's a little bit whoppered. I've abused it a little bit, and it's a little bit open more than it ought to be. See if we can adjust that real quick. It's not designed for a big metal like this brass. It's designed for really thin, soft tin. But I kind of keep using it for stuff it ain't made for. Still go a little tighter. Let me put it in the vise and see if we can close it up that way. That's probably too tight. No, that's all right. Clean it up there too. Do that one too. Perfect. All right, got the gap closed up a little more, so now the sheet metal fits in nice and tight. Real tight. Line up on our line. Like so. Yeah, that. See if we can convince that to bend over. Might need to clamp it here. I reckon it'll fit in the vise. Yeah, it will. Go off camera a minute. All right. Okay, move over to the vise. I got this clamped in here in that metal bending jig I showed you. And I'm going to use this body hammer. Not because it's any special, just because the face on it's really smooth and it won't leave a lot of marks on it. My normal ball peen hammer I use has got a lot of dents because I beat on everything with this, so need something a little smoother. See if we can start moving this over. Alright. Starting to get a crease here where I'm bending over this metal, and that metal is thicker than that. So I don't want to go too crazy with that. I'm going to have a nice curve. What I'll do maybe flip it around. So I can bend it both ways. And then we can just flatten it out with a vise or something. Getting there. Get a little flatter. Maybe we can just get it to squish. It's not too bad. I can see where it's starting to make a little U shape, which is what we want. See if I can get it to knock over a little flatter here. Alright, what we got is this little U shape here, but it's too fat. We need to flatten it out onto that blade so it's really thin. I think I might just try to use the vise for that. I think my jaws are there. They got teeth on them, but I think they're wore out enough. Guess I could put this wood in there. Try to protect the brass a little bit. Otherwise I'll just have to sand all it out later. What's wrong with magnets? We set this in here. Hold still. Okay. Look at that. Maybe we can crush it nice and flat. It's got the middle. End. At the other end. Okay. It's got it closed up. Still got a little bit of a teardrop shape there. We want it to be flat. I'd actually like it flat and then just pry it open. So let's see if we can peen it back over flat. I don't really want to use, it might be smooth enough. We'll have to sand it all off when we're done anyway. And every little dent I put in it, I'm going to have to sand back out. I'm trying to not put a bunch of big dents in it. If I can avoid it, I'll file it all out later. I also want it to end up kind of not curved. So I keep flipping it over so it doesn't get curved too much. I might got it. Yeah, not quite. Give it a couple heavy smacks. Love taps ain't doing it. Make sure we're relatively straight. Got a little twist in it. I think we can make that work. Alright, now we're mostly closed up. Both ends. And just pry that apart and put the blade in it when we're ready. So the blade ain't very thick. I'm gonna get it in there, not stabbing myself. That should go on top of there and hopefully hold it real tight. I'll have to pry it open to do it. And then we'll have to smack her around some more. Let me see. We can get her started here. Maybe like that. Let's see how she fits. I'm going to come in the handle a little bit. Well, maybe we'll go all the way back. We got enough brass. I think it's big enough. Yeah, we'll go all the way back. Why not? Let's see if we can get the blade in there though. Get down farther now. We might have to pry it open a little more. Might have hammered it too much. Might have to go in there all the way to the edge if we can. Let's get her pried open a little more. Ah, if I can get it back off now. Screwdriver go. Straighten it all out and whatnot if we don't break it. Brass will start to work harden pretty soon. And then I'll have to anneal it or something or it'll crack. Seems like it's still soft though. I'm putting dents in it all the way along it, so it's probably still soft. Ideally, my bending jig would have been the same thickness as the blade I want to put in here, but it didn't. Okay, I think we're about there. Probably got some tight spots, but you can get this blade to go in there all the way to the back. Close. See if we can get it open up right there in the very base where that blade hits is where we need it. And we'll just have to bend it over the blade now. Going about this the hard way, I think. Smarter person would have done it this way to begin with, I bet. Hold on to nothing. Okay. Alright, that fits all the way in there now. Should have done it that way to begin with, I bet. I think I want to at least cheat it a little way there so that we can file this to match on that corner. You can always trim the handle back if we have to. I'm afraid that's going to pop out of there when I try to hammer that. I don't know if it's going to work or not without trying to squeeze out. Let me see if I can get some smooth pliers or something on there. Maybe I can start smooshing it before it does that. Smash these on there a little bit down so don't squeeze out the blade to stay in there. There. That's in there pretty good that way. Go back a little bit here. I wonder if I can use the bench here and carve that down a little bit. So it makes more sense than using my hand anyway. Alright, so that is the back. We've done dented it all a heck and back, but we can sand that all off. Make it look nice and smooth again. Alright, That should be tightened up a little bit, but I think we'll work on it before we do too much. Something like that. Need this to be a little tighter. I want the spring on there and clip so it holds the blade real tight. In order to do that, we just close her up again a little bit. Make sure it's good and snug. And baby taps. See if we can get it closed up a little. Spring down on it. This to close up on the end a little bit too, because that'll clip down. We'll have to wide right there. Little wide spot right there. Want to be nice and tight. Alright. What I'm doing, putting the back on this, is because the blade's really flexible, and this will keep it from flexing. So when you're cutting dovetails and stuff, it'll be a lot more stable. In case you were wondering why I'm going through all the trouble. Something like that. We'll just have to polish it all up. We might file it square first. It's a little bit thinner on this side than it is on this side. I think we'll go ahead and file that nice and flush. See that lip right there. File it off nice and clean. Straighten it all up. Take that side off there to match that one. Get in here a little bit without smooshing it. It might make a noise. Not great. I might need a mark down the length of it so I get it all filed straight. Otherwise it's gonna, I could put some curls in it or something, I guess, but might need to make a straight line before I'm all done so I can see where to stop filing. I want it to be all nice and square. Let's see if I can get some kind of a line on it here. Yeah, I just put a line on it so when I put it back in the vise I can see where I need to file to. And I might put some curves or something in it just for giggles. Might look nice. Yeah, pull her back up in the vise. Yeah, we're getting pretty good on this end. We just got a little bit more to take off on that end. Yeah, that's probably close enough. Think about putting some designs or something in it anyway. Burr off of there. Maybe we'll just engrave it or something. That could work. We'll go on that way. Yeah, should work. I'll cut myself trying to get on there. Yeah, we're going to have to open her up a bit here. Got a brass filings in it. Right here where I filed that, I got a burr in here, making that blade not want to go in. See if we can get that knocked off of there. There we go. Yeah, knock that burr off of there and get the burr out of it. Yeah. Piece went right in there. A little shaving got in there. Alright then. Right on like that. Good, good. Back is on. It's good and snug. Need to knock that corner off. I think I might sand it first though. See if we can get it smoother. I got a lot of dents in it from when I had to beat it about 6 times. I should have been able to get it right the first time. I didn't. Let's see if we can get that to smooth out a little bit. I don't want to clamp this blade in the vise though. Let's see if we can get it back off of there. Maybe. She's on there. She fits pretty tight. Get it to knock off of there here. There we go. Fits. Can't ask for a better fit than that. That took some effort to get off there. Let's see if we can put a little bend on this. Maybe we can hold it that way. Felt like that was getting a bit of a curve in it. Not too bad. Now, hopefully, if we pop this thing on there again, thusly, maybe gets that to go down a little bit more. Somewhere's in the middle. Now, clamp the vise like that. And hopefully we can get it straight. You know, those dents showing up, probably see that. I don't know, might be too much glare. But the idea is all those dents, low spots and high spots, see if we can knock them down a little bit so we can level them off. And the whole thing looks a little straighter. Pretty big scratches right there. Getting there. I'm going to get it too thin. Keep an eye on it. If we have to, we can get under there and pry those low spots back up. Make sure we get it too thin. I want it to still be strong enough to hold the blade. I'm getting pretty close to getting it straightened up anyway. I can actually probably sand all that out. That corner there looks like. Trying to decide if I want to decorate this or not. Maybe I'll sand it down a little shinier. Let's see if we want to decorate it. A couple scratches in it still. Starting to come a little shinier though. If I hand sand that without the block, my finger will get into all those little grannies, nooks and crannies there, and it'll get it the rest of the way shiny. And let's do the other side. Like I said, I don't want to go too crazy. We are going to have to put it back in make a handle for it still, decorate it. Every time we handle it or move it around, we're apt to scratch it again. I don't want to go too crazy. It's exactly the kind of stuff that I don't really have patience for. But probably shows in your work. You don't completely finish stuff. Of course, most of what I make is just tools. Useful stuff. I don't really decorate stuff often. I guess if I was a jeweler, I'd be fired. Luckily, I never wanted to be a jeweler though. I think that's about good enough. Hit with the 400 again, and then maybe decide what I'm going to do with it, whether I want to decorate it or just leave it shiny. I think I should probably at least put name or initials or something on it, just for kicks. I don't know how much decoration we need to put on it. for a tool that'll probably rattle around in a toolbox. Don't get too crazy, it'll just get all scratched up. Won't matter anyway. Brass is pretty soft, it'll scratch up pretty easy. Hard use, make all kinds of marks on it. Alright, that's probably pretty good. Yeah, that's alright. To decide how to decorate it. And we'll have a cup of coffee and think about it.